Sagittarius, a whisper from beyond will touch your heart tonight. There are nights when the veil between worlds feels thinner, when silence carries more than just quiet, and when the heart begins to hear whispers it cannot explain. Sagittarius, tonight holds such energy for you. The universe has a message, subtle yet powerful, drifting toward you from beyond the boundaries of this visible world. Perhaps it comes from a loved one who has crossed over, perhaps from your higher self, or perhaps from the great current of divine wisdom that always flows around you. What matters most is that your heart is ready to listen. For too long you may have silenced your intuition, brushing off those inner nudges as imagination. Yet your soul knows that truth often arrives softly, in dreams, in songs, in synchronicities, in words that seem to appear at just the right time. This whisper is not here to frighten you, but to guide, to heal, and to remind you that you are never walking alone. If you allow yourself to receive, tonight could mark a turning point, a gentle yet undeniable awakening of connection between your world and the unseen. If this resonates, stay with me. Like, share, and subscribe so that more Sagittarians can recognize their own whispers from beyond. Together, let's step into the first gate and uncover what this sacred message holds for your spirit. Gate 1: The nature of whispers from beyond. Sagittarius, your soul is more attuned to the unseen than you often realize. You are guided by Jupiter, the planet of wisdom and expansion, which naturally draws you toward mysteries larger than life itself. This is why whispers from beyond, those subtle, inexplicable moments when you sense a presence, a sign, or a message, are not coincidences. They are invitations. Invitations from the universe, from loved ones who have departed, or from the deeper self within you that has always known the way forward. The challenge is not whether the whispers exist, but whether you are willing to listen. So often, Sagittarius dismisses these gentle messages. Your fiery spirit is quick to seek proof, logic, or action, and you may overlook the quieter languages of the soul. Yet the universe rarely shouts. It prefers to speak in whispers, because whispers require stillness. They require openness. And openness is your true power. Whispers from beyond can take many forms. Sometimes it is a dream so vivid that it lingers long after you wake. Sometimes it is a sudden memory of someone who has passed, accompanied by an unexplainable sense of peace. Sometimes it is a feather on your path, a song on the radio with lyrics that mirror your heart's question, or numbers repeating on the clock as though time itself is winking at you. These are not random. They are signals, carefully woven into your life, to remind you that you are guided. Consider the story of a Sagittarius woman who lost her father unexpectedly. For months she felt alone, carrying the weight of grief in silence. One night, as she sat in her car after work, a song began to play, the very song her father used to sing to her as a child. The moment stopped her breath. Tears filled her eyes, but instead of despair, she felt warmth flood her chest, as if her father was right there, reassuring her. "I'm still with you." That was a whisper from beyond, a bridge between worlds reminding her of love that never dies. These whispers are not always about comfort. Sometimes they arrive as guidance, nudging you away from paths that no longer serve you. Imagine a Sagittarius man about to make a business decision. He felt uneasy, though logically everything seemed perfect. That night he dreamt of being trapped in a collapsing building, and he woke with his heart pounding. The next day, instead of ignoring it, he paused and reconsidered. Weeks later, he discovered that the deal would have led to financial ruin. That dream, strange, haunting, and unforgettable, was a whisper from beyond, urging him to trust his inner knowing. Sagittarius, whispers from beyond thrive on synchronicity. You may ask a question in your heart, and within hours, overhear a stranger speak the very words you needed. Or you may think of someone and moments later receive their call. These are not coincidences but alignments, threads connecting you to the web of universal intelligence. The more you pay attention, the clearer the whispers become. Ignoring them does not mean they disappear. It only means you risk missing the guidance that could lighten your path. The first step in receiving these whispers is to cultivate presence. Your adventurous spirit often keeps you looking ahead, but whispers require you to slow down and notice the moment you are in. Pause when you feel a shiver without reason, when your heart leaps at a passing phrase, or when tears come unexpectedly. These are sacred signals. They are your intuition catching the whisper before your mind can dismiss it. And here lies the deeper truth. Whispers from beyond are not foreign to you. They are echoes of your own soul's dialogue with the universe. They remind you that you are connected, never separate, never abandoned. Even when you feel alone, there are forces, both seen and unseen, walking with you, guiding you gently back toward your purpose. As you stand before this first gate, Sagittarius, allow yourself to soften. You do not need to understand everything with your mind. Tonight, all that is asked of you is openness. When the whisper comes, and it will, you need only to listen with your heart. And as you begin to hear, you will realize that the chains of doubt, fear, and loneliness are already falling away. Because the truth is simple yet profound. You were never walking this path alone. Gate 2, listening with the heart, not the mind. Sagittarius, one of your greatest challenges is that your mind runs faster than your heart. Your fire drives you to search, to analyze, to connect dots, and to make sense of everything around you. But the whispers from beyond are not logical, they are felt. They bypass the mind and speak directly to the soul. If you try to measure, dissect, or rationalize them, you risk missing their essence. The art of hearing them lies in listening with your heart. Your heart is more than a physical organ. It is an energetic compass. Science has already shown that the heart has its own intelligence, capable of sensing and responding before the brain does. Spiritually, the heart is the doorway between the seen and unseen worlds. When whispers arrive, they rarely come as full explanations. They arrive as a shift, a sudden calm in the middle of anxiety, a warmth on your skin when no one is near, or a surge of knowing that makes no sense yet feels undeniable. That is the language of the heart. Imagine a Sagittarius who had been grieving the loss of her best friend. Every night she prayed for a sign, but each morning she woke disappointed, thinking she had heard nothing. One day, she sat quietly in her garden, exhausted by the weight of sorrow. As she let herself breathe, a butterfly landed on her hand and lingered far longer than usual. In that moment, her heart whispered, "This is her. She is near." If she had dismissed it as coincidence, she would have missed the profound comfort that presence offered. By listening with her heart instead of her mind, she allowed the whisper to become a message of healing. Sagittarius, you are often told to follow your intuition, but what that truly means is to trust the wisdom of your heart. The mind is filled with noise, doubts, fears, opinions of others, but the heart holds clarity. When a whisper comes, it will not argue with you. It will simply feel true. That truth might not be convenient. It may guide you to leave a situation that feels safe but stagnant. It may push you to trust someone when your mind lists 1,000 reasons not to. But your heart does not lie. When it resonates for a reason. Listening with the heart also requires stillness, which is not always easy for Sagittarius. Your restless energy makes you crave motion, adventure, and distraction. But whispers do not chase you down. They wait for you in silence. When you create space through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting under the night sky, you give the universe a chance to speak. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you never stop moving the dial, you will never catch the signal. The heart, in its stillness, becomes the frequency through which whispers can reach you. Another way to strengthen this listening is through dreams. Sagittarians often receive guidance in their sleep, because it is the only time the mind is quiet enough to listen. Keep a journal by your bed. Write down even the fragments that make little sense. Over time, you will notice patterns, symbols, and messages that repeat. These are whispers encoded in the language of dreams, waiting for you to interpret with your heart. A Sagittarius man once dreamt of walking with his grandmother who had passed years earlier. She said nothing, but handed him a lantern. Days later, he faced a difficult choice, and the image of the lantern reminded him, "Take the path where the light shines." He trusted it, and it led him to unexpected blessings. Sagittarius, listening with the heart also means trusting your body. Whispers often arrive as sensations. Goosebumps when someone speaks truth, a heavy chest when you are about to step into something wrong, or sudden peace when you are aligned with your destiny. These are not random bodily reactions. They are your inner guidance system communicating what words cannot. The more you trust these signals, the stronger they become. But here lies the challenge: doubt. The mind will always interfere, asking, "What if I'm making this up? What if I'm wrong?" This is where Sagittarius must call upon courage. You have always been brave in the external world, brave to travel, to love, to risk. Now you are asked to be brave in the inner world, to trust whispers without proof. That bravery is what transforms signs into guidance, and guidance into destiny. As you walk through this second gate, remind yourself, the whisper is already there. It may arrive tonight as a dream, tomorrow as a chance encounter, or in a quiet moment when your heart least expects it. Do not analyze it to death. Do not demand explanation. Simply feel it. Let it move through you like a soft breeze, leaving behind a trace of peace, love, or direction. That is the voice of beyond speaking through your heart. And when you learn to listen this way, Sagittarius, the world transforms. The mundane becomes sacred. The ordinary becomes magical. Every step you take feels accompanied, every decision guided, every sorrow softened by unseen hands. This is not imagination. It is the deeper truth of your connection to the universe. The whisper is real, and your heart is ready to hear it. Gate 3: messages of love, guidance, and reassurance. Sagittarius, when whispers from beyond reach your heart, they rarely come with thunder or lightning. They arrive softly, like a hand placed gently on your shoulder, like the sound of your name carried on the wind. And though they may be subtle, their meaning is profound. At their core, these whispers carry 3 essential messages: love, guidance, and reassurance. The first and most powerful message is love. Whether the whisper comes from a departed loved one, from your higher self, or from the universe itself, the energy is the same. You are loved, you are held, you are never alone. Sagittarius, your journey has often made you feel as though you walk alone. You have chosen paths others did not understand, pursued dreams that seemed reckless, and endured trials in silence because your pride would not allow you to burden others. But the whisper reminds you that even in your loneliest hours, love surrounds you. It may be the unconditional love of someone who has passed but still watches over you. It may be the eternal love of the divine, flowing like an invisible river around your soul. Or it may be the deep love of your own spirit, reminding you to treat yourself with the same tenderness you so freely offer others. The second message is guidance. Whispers often come when you are at a crossroads, unsure which path to take. Sagittarius, your adventurous nature can sometimes scatter you in too many directions, leaving you restless and uncertain. In those moments, a whisper may arrive to point you back to your true north. Guidance does not always reveal the entire map. Sometimes it simply nudges you toward the next step. You may feel it as an inner knowing, an unshakable sense that this is the way. Trust that. The whisper is not about controlling you, it is about aligning you. Like a compass needle, it always points you back to your authentic path. Consider the story of a Sagittarius woman who longed to move abroad, but was paralyzed by fear. One evening, while sorting through old belongings, she found a postcard she had forgotten, sent years earlier by a friend who wrote, "One day, I hope you'll see this place with your own eyes." The timing was uncanny. It felt like a message not just from her friend, but from the universe itself. That whisper gave her the courage to take the leap. She moved, and in that new place she discovered opportunities, friendships, and love she could never have imagined. The whisper's guidance opened a door she had been too afraid to push. The third message is reassurance. Life tests you, Sagittarius. Your fire pushes you toward growth, but growth often requires storms. In those times when everything feels uncertain and your courage falters, whispers arrive to remind you, you will be okay. Perhaps it is a dream where you see yourself smiling years into the future, stronger and freer than you are now. Perhaps it is a stranger's kind words, echoing the very affirmation you needed. Or perhaps it is a sudden calm in your chest when you were drowning in anxiety. These are whispers of reassurance, telling you that no matter how dark the night, the dawn will come. It is important to remember that whispers do not come to scare you. If you ever feel fear, know that it is not the whisper but your mind interpreting what it cannot understand. True whispers of love, guidance, and reassurance always carry peace. Even if they ask you to change, to let go, or to step into the unknown, the feeling will be gentle, like a hand leading you rather than forcing you. Sagittarius, your restless soul often seeks grand signs. Fireworks from the heavens, voices that speak loudly, undeniable proof. But whispers are the opposite. They are humble, subtle, and deeply intimate. They are not meant to convince the world, they are meant only for you. That is what makes them sacred. When you learn to notice and honor them, you will realize how deeply loved and guided you are. Imagine walking under the night sky and feeling a sudden warmth on your skin, though the air is cool. Or waking at 3:33 in the morning, heart calm rather than anxious, as if someone is watching over you. Or hearing a child laugh in a way that reminds you of someone you miss dearly. These are not accidents. They are love notes from beyond, woven into your daily life to remind you that the veil is thin and the connection eternal. At this third gate, Sagittarius, the invitation is simple: believe. Believe that love reaches across dimensions. Believe that guidance comes when you are willing to listen. Believe that reassurance can arrive in the quietest of moments. The more you trust, the clearer the whispers will become. And when you embrace them fully, you will no longer feel chained by loneliness, fear, or uncertainty. Instead, you will walk with the unshakable knowing that you are supported by forces far greater than yourself. These messages are not fantasy. They are the truth of your soul's connection to the infinite. And as you accept them, you prepare yourself for the fourth gate, learning how to integrate these whispers into your daily life, so they become more than fleeting moments of wonder. They become a living, breathing part of your journey. Gate 4: integrating the whispers into your life. Sagittarius, hearing a whisper from beyond is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a new way of living. Too often, people receive a sign, feel a moment of awe, and then quickly return to the noise of daily life, dismissing what they experienced. But whispers are not meant to be fleeting sparks. They are invitations to change how you walk through the world. To integrate them is to allow their wisdom to shape your choices, your relationships, and your sense of purpose. Integration begins with acknowledgement. Every time you notice a whisper, a dream, a sign, a synchronicity, pause and honor it. Say quietly to yourself, "I see you. I receive this." That simple act shifts the moment from coincidence to sacred communication. It teaches your soul that you are listening, and in response the universe sends more. Think of it as building a conversation. The more you acknowledge, the clearer the dialogue becomes. Journaling is one of the most powerful tools for integration. Sagittarius, your mind moves quickly, and without anchoring your experiences, they can slip away. Write down the dreams that stay with you, the songs that appear at just the right time, the strange encounters that feel meaningful. Over time, patterns will emerge, weaving a tapestry of guidance that reveals itself only when you look back. What may seem small in isolation becomes profound in repetition. That is how whispers build trust. Another way to integrate is through ritual. Rituals do not need to be elaborate. They simply need to carry intention. Light a candle when you sense the presence of a loved one. Speak their name out loud, thanking them for their guidance. Create a small altar with objects that remind you of the connection you feel. Stones, photos, feathers, or symbols that carry meaning. Each ritual is a bridge, grounding the unseen in the physical world. It tells the universe that you are not just hearing but responding. Sagittarius, integration also means applying the guidance you receive. A whisper that reassures you is meant to bring peace, but a whisper that nudges you toward change requires action. If your heart tells you to leave a situation that no longer serves you, honor it. If you feel pushed to take a risk that excites and scares you, trust it. The whispers are not random. They are aligned with your growth. To ignore them is to delay the blessings they point toward. To follow them is to step into the flow of destiny. There is also a communal aspect to integration. Whispers often arrive not only for you but for others through you. Sagittarius, you are a natural storyteller. When you share your experiences, you become a channel for others to recognize their own whispers. For example, telling a friend about the dream that gave you courage may inspire them to trust their own intuition. By sharing openly, you help normalize the reality that we are all connected to something greater. In doing so, you transform your whispers into collective wisdom. Of course, skepticism will always exist even within yourself. There will be days when you wonder if you imagined it all. This is natural. The mind craves certainty, but whispers are not built on proof. They are built on faith and resonance. Integration means allowing the doubt to exist without letting it close your heart. Remember, just because something cannot be measured does not mean it is not real. Love, hope, inspiration. All the most powerful forces in life are invisible, yet we know them by their effects. Whispers from beyond are no different. Another essential part of integration is gratitude. Every time you feel guided, comforted, or reassured, Pause and give thanks. Gratitude strengthens the connection like watering a plant. The more you water it, the stronger it grows. Thank your loved ones in spirit. Thank your higher self. Thank the universe. This exchange of energy creates a loop. What you acknowledge with gratitude returns to you multiplied. Finally, integration requires openness to mystery. Sagittarius, your adventurous soul thrives in the unknown. Whispers are not meant to answer every question. They are meant to remind you that life is larger than what you can see. To live in integration is to walk with wonder, to embrace the truth that the visible and invisible are always intertwined. The whisper tonight may not make sense until years later, but its impact begins the moment you choose to honor it. So as you step through this fourth gate, imagine your life as a dialogue with the unseen. Every day holds potential signs. Every night may bring dreams. Every chance encounter may carry guidance. Nothing is random. Everything is connected. And you, Sagittarius, are learning to live as one who listens. The whispers will not replace your free will. They will enhance it, aligning your choices with the deepest truth of your soul. This is how whispers become more than fleeting magic. They become a way of life. And when you live this way, you walk with greater courage, deeper peace, and unshakable faith that love, guidance, and reassurance are always within reach. The whisper is no longer just for tonight, it is forever. Conclusion: embracing the eternal whisper. Sagittarius, you have traveled through the mystery of whispers, learning what they are, how to hear them, what messages they carry, and how to weave them into your life. At every step, you have discovered that these gentle signals are not accidents, not fantasies, but sacred reminders that love does not end, guidance is never absent, and you are always connected to something greater than yourself. The chains of loneliness and uncertainty lose their grip the moment you realize you are never walking alone. Every sign, every dream, every moment of inexplicable peace is proof of this bond. The universe, your higher self, and those you love who have crossed into the unseen are closer than you think. So close, in fact, that they reach you not with shouts but with whispers, because whispers are meant for the heart. As you step forward, let this truth become your anchor. You are guided, you are loved, you are free. Tonight may be the night a whisper touches your heart in a way you cannot ignore. When it comes, breathe it in. Allow it to soften your fears and strengthen your courage. And remember, this is not just a fleeting message, but an invitation to live with openness, wonder, and faith. If these words stirred something within you, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe so that more Sagittarians can awaken to the whispers in their own lives. Together, we are a community of seekers, listening for the subtle truths that make us whole. The whisper is real, Sagittarius, and it has always been meant for you.